Today on Burnout, how to restart yourself. Roll intro. I think the best way for me to give you advice, if you hit a rut, if you get burned out, and you find yourself at the bottom of a pit of life, and you know you need to start climbing again, the best thing I can do is just tell you my own story. It's very difficult for me to speak out into the void of the internet and tell you exactly what you should be doing. But I can tell you what happened in my life, what continues to happen in my life, and how I get over the struggles, get over the hurdles, how I start climbing up out of my own pits. Out of my own pits. How to Climb Out of Your Pits by Zack, Arias. How to get out of the metaphorical pit that you may be in. Rewind about 4 years ago for me, and I was in such a pit. I didn't care about photography anymore. I didn't care about cameras or lights or the photo industry or anything. I really didn't give a shit about photography anymore. I knew I was depressed and I knew I was burned out. And I think what was scary for me at that point in my life was I simply didn't care. At previous burnout points in my life, I cared that I was burned out. I would eventually recognize that, hey, Zack, you're burned out. You need to do something. And then I would set something in motion to get myself out of burnout. And then here I found myself burned out, depressed, done, and I just didn't care. So this mindset went on for a number of months. I still getting work, so I was very thankful and grateful for that. I'm always thankful and grateful for any kind of work that I get. Anytime anyone hires me to take pictures, I love that. I show up, I put a smile on, I do my job, I deliver what the client needs, what they want. I try to go above and beyond expectations. And then when the job is done, the cameras go into the gear closet and they don't see the light of day until someone else hires me to bring them out. At that point in my life, I was just simply a technician. I would show up, I had the tools, I had the know-how. I'd ask you what the job needed to be done was. You'd say, Zack, this is the kind of thing that we're needing done. And I go, oh, all right. And I'd piddle on over there, get all my stuff ready, and here you go. Here's the pictures that you wanted me to make. Done. Easy. That's what I do. But I still didn't really care. Okay, I did a job. Great. That's it. Who cares? My apathetic attitude just started bleeding into everything in my life. Into my work, into my house, into just I just didn't care. Just didn't care. Give me a drink and leave me alone. At some point I realized, look, if I don't get out of this hole, then I'm going to be here forever. I have to do something. I had to do something. I had to do something. I think, this is just my theory, there's not a doctor in front of my name, but I think there are times you have to let that depression completely run its course down, 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 until you will get up and make movement again. There may be people that watch this and go, Zack, that's the absolute wrong way to look at it. I can just say that in my life, I will see that little fragile teacup falling, and I have to wait and let it hit the ground and smash into a million pieces and stare at it until I say, okay, I got to get up. I got to make this. I got to fix this. I got to do something about this situation. It has to go. It has to smash. I don't know. That's how I am. That's how it needs to run its course. I don't know. I really don't. I say that to say that if you are in that place where you see your fragile little teacup of whatever of your life falling, and you know it's going to hit the ground, and you know it's going to smash into a million pieces, don't beat yourself up if you're not able to catch it at that moment, to keep it from crashing. I'm not saying you should. This is why I'm a photographer and not a clinical psychologist. Don't listen to a word I say. So for me, teacup smash pieces, I'm like, I got to do something. So I knew I needed to work on something that would get me excited about photography again. I was just on this plateau that I saw no end to. And if you would have come to me and said, Zack, what are your ideas for a personal project? You could have even been like, Zack, here is $100,000 grant to go work on a project for a year. What do you want to do? I don't know. I didn't feel like I had zero ideas. I felt like I had negative ideas. Like any idea that even popped into my brain was so bad, it was below zero. Like I wasn't even on any positive, this might be something that I want to do. As it always happens, the answer was what I always told other people to do, that I just didn't listen to myself. And that comes from a quote by Chuck Close. You may have heard this quote before. Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work. But see, that's not the full quote. You need to hear the full quote. Hold on. This is the full Chuck Close quote. I want you to listen carefully to it, please. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Listen up. The advice I like to give young artists, or really anybody who will listen to me, is not to wait around for inspiration. Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work. If you wait around for the clouds to part and a bolt of lightning to strike you in the brain, you are not going to make an awful lot of work. He continues. All the best ideas come out of the process. All the best ideas come out of the process. They come out of the work itself. Things occur to you. If you're sitting around trying to dream up a great art idea, you can sit there a long time before anything happens. But if you just get to work, something will occur to you. And something else will occur to you. And something else that you reject will push you in another direction. You feel like you need this great idea before you can get down to work. And I find that's almost never the case. You feel like you need this great idea. I need a great idea. I need this like big plan, a project. I need this idea before you can get down to work. And I find that's almost never the case. I came across that quote that I have told to many other photographers that I've spoke to through the years. And I read that quote and I finally read it to myself. I finally heard it for myself. And Chuck Close was saying, Zack, get the to work. Get the to work. Get the to work, Zack. Get to work. Okay, Chuck. What does that look like? Well, set up some shoots. Go find someone to photograph. You see, it comes down to like, I'm always jealous of like musicians or writers or painters. They get this idea for a song or a painting or a story, and they can get up in the middle of the night and go to their guitar, or they can pick up a pad and a pen and start working on something, or, you know, they can go to their canvas and begin to paint. I'm a people person. I most enjoy photographing people. I need people to photograph. Sarah Lando during this time in my life was like, hey, Zack, why don't you do a self-portrait project? And I'm like, Sarah, that's the last damn thing I want to do with my life. Like, no. Not even no, Sarah. Hell no. Not even hell no, Sarah. No, I'm not shooting self-portraits. I don't want to look at me. You know, I don't. I don't want to look at me. If you're like, Zack, self-portraiture is what you need to do, I'm just going to be like, meh, bye. I'm not doing it. I don't want to. Call me closed-minded, call me dumb, call me whatever. I don't care. Like, not doing it. Not doing it. Previously, when I would do personal work, it usually ended up me calling like a modeling agency in town saying, you know, if you got any new people that are testing right now, send them over to the studio. And then we'd set up a shoot, and then we'd get a stylist and the hair and makeup, and we'd make pictures. And it was always pretty people in pretty light, right? Like pretty people in pretty light. And those pictures were absolutely worthless other than technical exercises. I'm not a fashion photographer. I'm not trying to get work into fashion photography. Anytime I put those images into one of my portfolios, they never really mixed or went well. And honestly, it's not like New York, Paris, Milan, Atlanta, you know, so I'm not in some fashion capital. If anything in my personal work started to go over that fashion edge, it was useless to me. I mean, it's fun, right? You get pretty people, you put them in pretty light, and you make pretty pictures, and you can put them on Instagram, and people are like, that's a pretty picture of a pretty person standing in pretty light. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I set up my pretty light and put a pretty person in front of it and made a pretty picture. No. No more of that bullshit for me. So what do you do? What do? You're a people person, and you're not going to hire, you know, hireable people to sit in front of your camera. So I knew I needed to get to work, and I knew I needed people, and I knew I needed some sort of parameters. I needed parameters for this work to keep me a bit focused. It couldn't just be a free-for-all, see what happens. I needed a few rules. So these were the rules that I set for myself from the start. Number one, I was not going to work with models, actors, or people who are usually comfortable in front of the camera. Like that's part of their day job or part of what they do. I'm not working with them. I want to work with people who aren't normally in front of a camera. Okay, that's what I want to do. Number two, I'm not going to shoot these in a studio. I'm not going to shoot them on white seamless. I'm not going to work at my normal locations where I show up and take clients and photograph them in whatever environment that I choose. I'm not doing that. I do that enough for work as it is. So I'm not going to do it for my personal work. So if I'm not shooting in the studio, or I'm not shooting at a normal location I would for a paid job, then I want to photograph people in their own space. Or if they don't have a space that I can photograph in, then they can come to my house and I'll photograph them somewhere in my house. Number four, these photographs and these shoots are for me. They're not for my subjects. I'm walking in as Zack, just me, a guy that has a camera, not a guy with a camera, not a GWC, no. But they're not Zack Arias, commercial and editorial photographer, walking in the door to make Zack Arias commercial and editorial photography. No. This is me, Zack, just me as a person taking pictures. These shoots are 100% for me. If someone agrees to be my subject, I'm not trying to take a picture for them that they will like. If someone, says, hey, Zack, I'll gladly be your subject for your personal portraits, and also I need a headshot. Or also, do you think you could maybe take a family photo while you're here? Or also, I really could use a new picture for my LinkedIn. Nope. You can call me, email me, text me, send smoke signals, and hire me to shoot your headshot or your LinkedIn picture or whatever it is you need. But for these personal shoots, they're personal. And they're 100,000,000% for me. I am selfish. I am greedy. These aren't for people I photograph. These photographs are for me and me alone. They're mine. Now that kind of sounds kind of snarky and like I'm being an asshole. I mean, I'm not. I'm not walking in the door with demands, right? Like, no, I'm not doing that. But also, I just say, I'm not shooting headshots or family photos or, personal branding pictures for you. That's not what this project's about. If that's a deal breaker, I'm so sorry. Thank you very much for reaching out, but no. Nope. For me. Listen, all of my paid work is for the client, is for the subject I'm photographing, is for the end result that a whole team of people are working towards. That's what I do as a photographer. And I'm burned out. I'm over it, frankly. And I never do it for me. I'm usually not given the time, or I'm told that, like, while that's a really cool picture, Zack, that doesn't really meet our brand standards. So we really need it to look like this so it matches our brand. So this idea that I have, like, ooh, this would be a cool photo, it doesn't even work for the client, right? Because it just doesn't fit what they need. So I have to change what I do to fit what the client needs. And that's my job. And I'm not complaining. But for personal work, there's a reason it's called personal. Personal. Me. Mine. And I need it. Paddles to the chest is how I need these photos in my life. So I'm at number 6. Number 6, for these personal shoots, I take all my gear. I pack lighting, I pack smoke machines, I pack backgrounds. I even pack wardrobe that will fit the subject that I'm going to shoot. Because if I decide, hey, I'd like you to go lay down in that mud puddle over there, here's some clothes that you can wear and completely destroy so you don't ruin your own clothes. I even take wardrobe. Oh, damn, we're sitting at 30 minutes. Edit, Zack. So I knew I needed to photograph people. I would prefer it if they would just let me go to their place and photograph them there. I was going to make pictures that I wanted to make. I was going to be slow and methodical about it and only have expectations for myself and not worry about the expectations of my subjects. And let's see where that was going to go. So I got on my personal Facebook page and I got on Instagram, I believe, and I said, hey, if you're in the Atlanta area, I want to do some personal portraits. If you'd be interested in being a subject of one of these portraits, please let me know. And some people started to write back. So cool. So how I communicate to my subjects about how I approach these is I tell them to think of what I'm doing is like making a film that is one frame. And they are the actor. They are the character in this film. And I'm going to direct them. I'm the director. They're the actor, actress. And I'm going to direct them to make the film I want to make. So this picture is not about them. I don't walk into someone's place and say, how can I make a photograph that represents who this person is? Because more likely than not, I'm going to be making a photograph of them that doesn't represent who they are. It might come out, it might not, but that's not the point of it. The point of it is for me to make pictures that I like. I'm telling you, selfish, greedy bastard. Right here. There's 2 more rules. Almost done. Is it 2 more? 2 more? I have lost count of where my rules are, but my next rule is this. If I'm setting up a shot and I say to myself, self, this is exactly the picture you would make if you were on assignment to come here and take a photograph of this person. Then I stop. I stop what I'm doing. I walk into someone's house and there's this nice chair and a nice corner and there's this nice light hitting the nice chair and I say, oh, go sit in that chair. Let me take a picture of you right there in that little corner. Of course I'm going to sit them in that nice chair, in that nice corner, in that nice light. That's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm drawn to shoot right there. If I'm on a magazine assignment to photograph this person, that's exactly where I'm going to start photographing them, right there. No, Zack. That's what you always do. That's exactly where you would start. So you don't get to go there, Zack. You have to come up with something else. So I'll sit someone at a table. I sit them at the table. I start setting up lights, or I start doing this, or I start looking for props. Zack, of course they're sitting at the table. Of course they're sitting at a desk. Like, here's a desk. How about you sit at the desk? Stop. Nope. No, stop. What else can you do? Could they sit on the table? Could they stand on the desk? Could they sit under the table? Could they sit under the desk? Could they lay on the table? These are all things that you would never do, Zack. That's myself talking to myself. I have all sorts of weird conversations from self to self. So, self is me saying, stop what you're doing. This is boring. This is some bullshit, Zack. This is what you always do. Stop. I take my time. Sometimes I will sit down, and it's really uncomfortable, and I'm not trying to be uncomfortable, but I will sit a person down in a place, and then I just do this. I just look at them, and I look at the background, and I look at the foreground, and I look at them, and I try to figure out what angle I want to photograph them. It's almost like they're an inanimate object at this point. And I will walk 360 degrees around my subject and just look at them. And I explain what I'm doing, so it's not more awkward than it already probably is for them. Because many people I've photographed don't know me or know me personally, but I would say, hey, I'm looking for someone, and someone would tag them in a post, say, hey, I think you'd be great for this project, and they just see it, and they don't know who I am or what I do, and they're just like, well, my friend Tom told me this would be a good idea, so why don't you come to my house and take a picture? They have no clue what's really going on, so I have to communicate with them what I'm doing, and that I'm not being a complete creep, right? I'm not being a creep. But also, I'm not client-photographer relationship here. This is Zack to Zack relationship in my own head that I'm trying to figure out. And I just go slow. Because remember, I just need one picture. I need one photo. At this point in the video, my idea was to show you some pictures, tell you the backstory behind them, and how all of these rules and things and stuff I've been talking about came into play. And like, here's a photograph that came from this work. But this video is getting long enough as it is, and it gave me the idea that I could probably make a series of shorter videos that are kind of show and tell. Like, here is a portrait that I made. Let me tell you the backstory behind it. I'll give you some technical information on it as well. And I can always refer back to this video you're watching now to kind of close the loop on it. How do I get back to work? And here's some videos you can watch. And how do I get back to work? And like that. Let's see if it works. That brings me back to you, my dear colleague, my dear peer in this creative industry that we're in. If you are burned out, if you are in a rut, and you don't have any ideas of where to get started or what to do, I got you. I get it. I totally understand where you are. What I would like you to do is to identify something that you at least half like to photograph. You might be kind of into macro photography. You may love still life photography. You may love playing with grids on hot shoe flashes. You may be a people photographer. And well, I can tell you from experience, during a pandemic, that's the worst damn time to be a people photographer. What is that something that's what you like? Like, if this is what you can do with the rest of your life, is to take portraits or to shoot landscapes or to do really interesting macro photography, or you're so into lighting and you just love to light the shit out of things, then start and go and just pick up your camera and just start and go and do work. Get to work. Let's say you're in a boat. Let's say this little tripod here is a boat, and you are in a big, vast ocean, and that boat is just kind of slowly going in circles. And you're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. I don't even know what direction. When you are in a very large, vast ocean and there is no sign of life on the horizon, then just pick anything. Pick anything and go in that direction. So you're stuck at home. Do you have a macro lens? Yeah, I have a macro lens. I can kind of shoot macro. Okay, then go shoot macro. Go shoot macro pictures for a week. And only do black and white. And it has to be things that were grown in your backyard. Just, okay, well, that's the direction I'm going in. And just go in that direction. And just go. Start to work. Pick up your camera. Pick something to photograph. And just go there. Because something will occur to you. And you'll go, oh, you know what? This is kind of cool. I'm going to do this thing. Maybe you're like completely into lighting. Like I'm totally into lighting. Like lighting. Okay. Grab some lights and grab utensils from your kitchen and go photograph in that direction. You're going to photograph kitchen utensils with cool lighting. You're going to make the coolest, most interesting pictures of kitchen utensils that the world has ever seen. There is your point on the horizon. I know this is going to sound stupid and like it's saying something without saying anything, but what got me going again was me getting going again. Chuck Close absolutely nailed it. Get up, go to work. If you're sitting around waiting for inspiration, you're not going to find it. It's not going to show up. You are more likely going to get hit by a bolt of lightning than to get hit by an idea. But please, listen to me. If you will get up and start to work, give yourself some parameters to work in. You know, the one I like the most for myself, the number one I like the most for myself is that as soon as I feel like I'm taking a picture that I normally would always take, I stop myself and I make myself reconsider what's in front of me and I try to bend it. I would always light this way, so how could I light this differently? I would always use this lens. Maybe I need a different lens. I would always shoot from this angle. Maybe I need to lay on the floor. Maybe I need to get a ladder. How can I change and bend my brain that is wired to go in this direction to try to think a different way? Try to think a different way about what or who you're photographing and be selfish. This is for you. This isn't for Facebook. This isn't for Instagram. This isn't for your portfolio. This isn't for future or present clients. This isn't for the subject. This isn't for your friends. It's not for your family. It's not for anyone but your own damn self. This is for you. This is for your heart, for your mind, for your own creative soul. And it doesn't matter what people are going to think. It doesn't matter if people like it or not. If you like it, if it's feeding you and it's getting that fire rekindled inside of you, then it is doing what it needs to do. It is accomplishing the goal of you getting up and getting the to work. Get the to work. I thought about, wouldn't it be cool if we came up with a hashtag for this and y'all go out and y'all start doing work and share it and hashtag it so we can all see what you're doing. No, absolutely not. We are not doing a hashtag. I don't want you to email me shit. I don't want you to tag me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Now you can hit me up on any of the platforms and saying, hey, Zack, I'm getting to work. And I'm going to be like, hey, high five. You're getting to work. I don't want to see it. I don't want you to show it. You need to sit on it for a while. You could be like, Zack, I put some seeds in the ground here and I'm going to have a vineyard soon and one day I'm going to make wine. Awesome. I can't wait to try your wine. But I'm really not interested in seeing the dirt you put seed in. Right? Like, that's not me being an asshole. That's not me being a jerk. Please know this. What I'm saying is that what you need to go out and create needs to be for you. It doesn't need to be shared on Twitter and hashtagged and at me and all of this and put out on broadcast. Like, if you want to just share it on your own Instagram and your own Facebook, by all means do. But don't do it to show it. Do it to do it. Do it to be doing work. Don't do it so that you have content. Don't do it so you can blog about it. Don't do it so that people are seeing it and seeing you out working. Don't do it for those reasons. Yes, I do share some of my personal work, some of it. Yes, I do put it out there sometimes. Yes, I do. Yes, some of it is now on my website. Yes, that is true. But as I work on personal projects, it's for me. And I sometimes sit on that stuff. And there's stuff I've not shared. There's stuff that's not seen the light of day yet. May never see the light of day. There are a few pictures that I'll never show anyone outside of my close circle of people who personally know me. Don't do it for the gram. Don't do it. As soon as you start doing it for the gram and the socials and the like and the endorphins that come from that, Nope. You're already messing up. Don't do it. So don't hashtag me. Don't at me, bro. Do not at me. At me that you're working. At me that you're getting off your ass. At me all day long for that. Absolutely. And I will be your biggest cheerleader. But don't show me your pictures yet. You work on that. That's yours. That's your fucking space. Yours. Yours alone. Do you see how I can be firm without being an asshole? That's what I'm hoping I'm coming across as. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm very firm about this. Everyone, be on the lookout. We're going to have some show and tell videos. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have some videos, show and tell. I'm going to show you a picture and I'm going to tell you about it. It's like stuff and things, but it's show and tell. So, please like, please subscribe. Most importantly, please comment. I read all of your comments. Your comments give me great feedback, they give me great critique, and they give me great ideas. So please, I love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Please share, and you know what? My YouTube channel is now open for tips. So cash me outside or Venmo me, whatever. You know, if you like my content, I'll throw a quarter into the piggy bank. I'd appreciate it. My family would appreciate it. It's the Honor System Patreon channel right here on the YouTube. Thank you, everyone. I thank you. My family thanks you. Carl thanks you. 53 minutes. Zack.